Hello and welcome to the Swim Run Show podcast. I'm Mike, and this week's episode we're focusing on the 20th year anniversary for OTILLO, the World Championship. Started back in 2006, of course, and it's still going strong in 2026. So, yeah, it's a great chat with Dominik from OTILLO. If you've been over to those races, you would perhaps recognize him. But yeah, it was a great chat. Really enjoyed it. Dived into the elite program, looked at plans for this year's race, bit of stories from the past, and yeah, really good fun. And yeah, we'll crack on with that in a minute. Update from the UK, our events. Liverpool, the Eliminator in Liverpool has sold out, the May edition, so that's full now. We will be putting one on at the end of September, 26th, I think it is, Saturday, September the 26th. More details to come on that. Abu Dhabi on the 21st of June in beautiful Snowdonia National Park. There's places available on that. And there's lots of races, of course, in the UK and across the world. What else is happening? World of Triathlon Live exhibition. So it's a multi-sport exhibition on the last weekend of March in London. I'll be there talking on the Sunday about swim run, of course. And I'll have a little stand on Saturday and Sunday. So come down if you can. It should be. There's loads of big brands going to be there, big names, people like Tim Don, and loads of people from multisport and a lot of swimmers as well. Dan Bullock, great coach. So yeah, I'm not going to read. Just check out World of Triathlon Live. You'll find all the speakers and some more information on the website there. What else is happening? A One Water race. They've started releasing the teams, of course. Team 1 Australia was released yesterday. So it's great to see those guys. Looking forward to August from the comfort of my of hopefully a nice chair somewhere. I'll watch some of that race going on. The podcast this week with Dominik, unusually and for the first time, I recorded it from the back of a car, which wasn't the plan, but it worked out. So yeah, let's just crack on. Here we go. Okay, we have a great guest today, Dominik Leu. I'm not sure, is that correct? Yeah, Dominik, yeah. How are you, Dominik?
Morning, very good. And good pronunciation, actually. It gets, people get it wrong all the time. It's Leu, very easy, actually. It's an old German word for lion.
Oh.
So,
wow.
But yeah, from having lived in the UK and in the US, it typically comes out as Lou.
Okay.
And when I was in the US for a long time, people who didn't know me in person, but who had only met me via email, I found out at some point they thought I was Asian.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I thought, well, why the hell would you think that? And they said, well, L-E-U, L-I-U, L-E, and whatever, all these Asian names is 3 digits, start with an L.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So when I first entered a room in one of our other offices in the US, they were like, okay. Quite a few surprised faces, which it didn't even occur to me that someone could think that.
No. Okay, so it's an old German word for lion. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Cool, okay. So Dominik is, if you've not heard of him, he's one of the race directors. Well, I'm not sure. What's your actual title? One of the bosses at OTILLO, or?
Well, we're not good with titles, really. Sometimes I'm considering myself more of a commercial director, and then I look after all the communications and at the events. Obviously, Staffan and I are out on the course wearing race director bibs, making sure that everything runs smoothly. So then during the season, I guess race director is maybe the right word. Yeah. We're a small team, so you don't get to, a title doesn't mean much. You do whatever comes along.
Yeah, you have to wear a lot of hats. It's still a relatively small sport, and yeah, I know exactly what you mean. There's all sorts going on, but on that note, I remember first time I noticed you was 2022 at Uto, the breakfast after the cold. That was quite a cold one.
22 was terrible. I think half the field didn't finish.
That's right. Yeah.
But it was in May.
Yeah,
That was in May.
yeah, I know. Yeah, and I loved it. I mean, well, no, that was really awful, but I still loved it in that strange way. But I remember listening to one of your stories of just because I could hear you said one of the guys before a swim. Oh, no, well, after the swim, he came out and he only had one shoe. And
Ah,
for one of the swims, he put both his shoes down the back of his wetsuit. And
that was in Croatia though.
was that Croatia?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was the 3K swim in Croatia in the
oh,
year when we had a big storm
yeah.
and so many people. I mean, it
2016.
yeah, so many people didn't make it to the other side, and there was still, that was in the days when people were constantly trying new stuff in swim run, and some people on the long swim they had taken their shoes off,
Yeah.
and he had put them under the other guy's bib on the Mac. And somewhere, through the waves and currents and whatever, they get out on the other side, and people were literally dizzy. They spent so long in the water and came out on the other side, and this one team came out, and he's reaching for the shoes, and he only finds one shoe. Hands the other guy the shoe, and he's like, "I only have one shoe." And the other guy's looking at that shoe, he's holding it up like, "Okay." And then they say, "Well, that's not good, is it?" "No, it's not good." And then I think he even suggested, "Well, maybe we can make you a sole from one of my paddles." And we were standing next to them like, "My goodness, what size shoes have you got?" Because we just wanted to help out. And so we gave him one. He insisted he only wanted to borrow one shoe. And we said, "Look, now you're wearing a Vivo Barefoot on one foot, and I don't know what it was on the other foot. And that's not going to work for the next 30 kilometers. So you better, take both, or you're out." And I think they stopped anyway. It was quite crazy.
Yeah, I was there. Like, a lot of people. What caught me out in particular, that long swim, we got quite cold because it was quite rough. It was
Yeah,
longer time in the water because of that, and there was a lot of people getting cold on that 3K
yeah, yeah,
swim.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, it was that was such a big challenge with that long swim. I mean, we had one year where it was really nice and flat. I don't know if you were there that year, and then
no,
it was beautiful, but still, I mean, and there's current, and it was difficult to navigate because you couldn't really see, however many strobe lights we put on the other side, you couldn't see it, and it's yeah,
yeah. I
but
mean,
funny scenes.
yeah. Oh, brilliant! It's brilliant. Great memories, and I mean, it
There
wasn't.
was another team actually. I remember now that there was a small little island with a little
Yeah,
lighthouse on it,
yeah.
and they were on that island, and one of the team members he wanted to go on, and the other one wanted to quit. So one was waving us over and said, "Pick me up," and the other guy was chasing us away and said, "No, we want to continue."
Okay.
And and then the Coast Guard actually came because people had been in the water for such a long time. And the Coast Guard came and said, "We've got to come out the water." And the one guy had jumped back in. He wanted to continue. And we said, "Look, the Coast Guard needs you to come out of the water." And he kept turning around in the water such that he was facing away from the Coast Guard boat. And he said, "I don't see them." I mean, if you think back, I mean, that was probably 10 years ago. I mean, those were really wild times still for swimrun. And if you think where we are now and the level of professionalism that we've seen, on race organizers all across and the athletes and the preparation, I mean, now pretty much everything is set. Back then at every race, you would see someone come up with a new crazy idea of a pull buoy construction or, I've attached something to my shoes for fins, and they were.
Yeah,
It was fun,
yeah, definitely.
but as it evolves, it changes.
Yeah.
When did you actually start doing swim runs?
2014 was my first Uto.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard 2010. A friend of mine, well, someone I'd gone on a swim trek in the Inner Hebrides, I think it was, in 2009, and one of the guides was going to do the world champs lady. I think she was into Ironman, and so that was the first time I heard about it. And then I convinced a friend who I worked with to do Uto in 2014. I absolutely loved it. Absolutely, it was brilliant. And It's probably still my favorite day of swim run. Just the first day. Well, we didn't have any. Obviously, didn't have anything. We just had a wetsuit, no paddles, no pull buoy, and still we probably weren't that much slower, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I was probably at my fittest then, so that probably helped. So yeah, it was great, good times. And then
And
Engadin.
have you done all the races through the years?
I've done most. I never did 1,000 lakes. And that, yeah,
Another cold one.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had a race partner who wanted to do it because it was quite flat, wasn't it? I think
It was very flat. I mean, it was a nice course, but we were just, I mean, the first time we did it was so late in October, it was so cold. I did the sprint that day
right.
with Galahad Clark from Vivo,
Oh yeah,
and I couldn't believe, I mean, we went in the water and I think it was 7 degrees or something. And I started swimming and I just couldn't put my head in. It was giving me such a shock, the cold water, that I needed to breathe. And, you know, I tried and tried and tried. After 100 meters or 200 meters, I just started swimming breaststroke. And I hear someone laughing behind me. And I'm like, what's so funny? So Galahad's behind me. And he's like, you're just as shit a swimmer as I am. And I'm like, well, I'm actually not that bad a swimmer, but it was
so cold.
Too cold for my system.
Yeah. Cool. Well, great. Yeah, I mean, great memories. And just on that note, I was going to ask later actually, but Croatia, is that kind of off the plate now?
Yeah, it kind of is. It was too difficult to get there.
Okay.
And I think, you know, first year we had a good number of participants and then it just kept going down.
Right.
I mean, it's a beautiful place. I can always recommend it for going on a vacation and doing some swim runs, whatever. But then the other thing was that the course had this, as you remember, it had this challenge with the 3K swim over there, which unless you get the perfect day, it just makes it really, really difficult for a majority of the racers. Yep. And other than that, I mean, it's a beautiful place, but I didn't think the course was so amazing. And there's no direct flights. So, I mean, that's one thing we learned over the years. If a race is not easily accessible, I mean, you either have to go through Frankfurt or Vienna, and then you fly into Split, you have to take a bus, have to take a ferry. I mean, it takes you a day to get there. And for us to have a successful event, people need to be able to get there easily. And that's what we've seen, all the events where people are like, fine, this is an easy one to get to, basically. And you need to have a local community that is going to race. Yeah. And there was none there. I mean, they just, you know, don't do any of this. So
they go sailing instead.
Yeah. And smoke some Marlboros and have a good time.
Yeah, that's true. And what about, on that note then, what about Malta? Is that off the plate too?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the time of year was pretty good. I mean, we're always looking for an off-season, well, early or late-season race, because that's what we're lacking in Europe right now. Okay. I mean, the Austin event is really fun thing to do, you know, early November. And I've been, and it's just such a nice time of year there. And it's actually fairly easy to get to. And you know, you can easily spend a couple of days extra and just have a really good time because it's a cool city. But in Europe, we're looking to make an addition early in the season, particularly early in the season, because I think, you know, in a couple of months' time, people will be eager to go somewhere. So that's got to be somewhere south, and we're always working on that. I think we have a pretty good location now that
okay.
Hopefully we'll get some permits in the next few months so we can announce that. And again, in a late season race would also be cool to add.
Okay.
And the Malta one was that was fun. I mean, again, were you there when we had the big storm?
Yeah.
I mean,
2019.
Yeah, that was
wild. Yeah, that was wild. Yeah.
I mean, it blew over. I was just talking about this yesterday because we were talking about our finish line structure, the big metal thing that we use on Uto and the World Champs. It blew that over on the beach.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, on the first time we did it, because we were all in that Radisson hotel, and then people would, you know, go straight from the beach to their rooms. And I think after the event, we had a sort of debriefing talk with the hotel manager. And he came in and he said, yes, thank you very much for the business, but please don't come back. because, his entire hotel was full of sand.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
Okay. Well,
funny stories, good memories.
Yeah. And okay, so that's interesting. So when you said about the early season one, you're waiting for the permits. I'm taking that'll be a 2027 race. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we would have loved to have had it this year.
Yeah.
But it's not happening yet. It takes time. I mean, adding new events, also depending on the country where you're trying to do it. First, you've got to tell people what swim run is new. I mean, let's face it, even though it's growing all over the world and there's swim run events everywhere in the world now, but still, most places where you go, you say you want to do a swim run, they're like, okay, yeah, good. Swim across the bay and run around. And then we're like, no, we want the nature experience, and we want to go to places where there's not a road or a path, and maybe we'll go somewhere where no one's been before.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of convincing. And when you found the right people, we typically need to have a local operator to help us with it, because, I mean, as much as I, enjoy working everywhere, but you need to have someone who knows the people, who speaks the language, can understand the permits. I mean, most places, it's pages and pages of permits that you have to complete, and you need someone local to help. So there's a lot of things that need to fall in place to establish a good race. Yeah. And like I said, you need to have the infrastructure, you need to have the volunteers, you need the accessibility, you need to have hotels, you need to have a place where you can do race briefings, etc. So the total is a long list of things, and when you can tick all the boxes and you get the permits, then you have a race.
Yeah.
So I know people want it, and we're always working on it, but it's...
Oh, I think the growth in the last couple of years of number of races has been good. Ireland, Rugen, and then obviously the American ones. So yeah. I mean, I think it's good. I mean, there's a good offering.
I find it amazing where you've got the same on your Instagram every day. You see a new race pop up somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
And we get contacted from people all over, from Australia to Japan to South America, who are like, I want to do a swim run race. What are the terms? What do I need to do if it should eventually become an OTILLO race or whatever? And we're, trying to support as much as we can in giving people the right guidelines, because then, if they really want to establish a race, then there's a few things that we can tell them that makes their life a lot easier.
Yeah.
And obviously, we want to make these races safe races. You want the nature, but that comes with a cost, and the cost is that, you probably need to have more safety boats out there, etc., than you would have in, if you do it just in a lake.
Yeah.
So the most exposed places that you're looking for to make it an exciting race also come with certain challenges. But what we all want is we always want the races to be safe, because the last thing we need is a headline where something goes wrong in a swim run race, and then it's going to have a negative effect on all of us.
Yeah. I think for some reason at the moment, and in the last 15, 20 years, swim runners seem to be quite good at analysing risks and doing, making the right choices. I'm not sure if that's right for all sports, but yeah, from that adventure background, I think, from what I've seen, swim runners seem to be competent. So far, so good. Anyway, let's keep that going.
Yeah, and I think we all know a lot of the race organizers. I think everybody takes this very seriously.
Yeah,
which is a good thing. That's not a given.
No, that's true. So 20 years now. Wow. So the World Champs is happening September, quite a late September. The first Monday this year in September is the 7th, I think. So yeah, yes. That's exciting.
Late this year.
Yeah. How are plans shaping up?
Really good, actually. The one thing that almost surprised us a little bit is how many people wanted to get in. Because what happened last year throughout the year when we started talking about it's going to be the 20-year anniversary, is that we got approached by a lot of people who said, well, oh, I've done this race in God knows 15, 16, 17, and it would be so cool to come back, but it's so difficult to get in these days because, I don't have ranking points and what have you. And then we realized, if it would have been a few teams, fine, but this was a lot of people. And then we decided we have to find a way to open up the race to these kind of people. And that's why we introduced what we then called the anniversary wildcard, which we announced in September, and told people, look, if you've done a race in the past, then, send your application and we might find a way to get you in there. Cool. And with just these applications, we could have filled the race.
Wow.
And we were like, okay, that's, surprising, because we didn't realize that there were so many people out there who would have done or wanted to do OTILLO again, that, we just weren't aware of it. Mm-hmm. And the big challenge for us is that we just have logistical limitations. The hotel capacity at Johannesburg is limited, the ferry boat space is limited, the space on Uto is limited. So at the moment, we're really working on trying to increase the capacity and allow as many people in as we possibly can. The last thing we want is to turn people away. At the same time, people apply who are, clearly maybe shouldn't be in a world championship, but that's a different story. So I can already say that it's going to be the biggest ever, or the biggest field we've ever had. I think we'll probably have 200 teams on the start line, wow, which is really cool. And you will enjoy this. There's so many people from the past, right, who reappeared, who are like, cool, I've done this whenever in 18, and now I'm calling my old buddy from then, and we're going to do this again. So that's going to be making it really fun for the community. Cool. And cool is, obviously with the increased number of teams. For the first time, I think we have more than 30 women's teams on the start line, and all competitive. So, I think that's one thing that we've seen last year across all three categories, that it's getting more and more competitive in all three. Obviously the men's race often gets a lot of the attention, but I'm always out on the course and I see, I'm trying to follow the competition as much as I can. And last year in the women's, you saw, Sabina and Anna were doing the course record. They were miles away, but behind them, 7 women's teams were fighting for the podium. They all finished within half an hour.
Right.
So that was exciting to watch if you were out there. Yeah. And the same in the mixed. The ranking in the mixed changed completely as they were crossing Orne. So, and that's what I find exciting to see, that as the sport gets more professional, the athletes get more professional, it gets more exciting to watch these races, which also opens up more media opportunities because, then if it's an exciting product, then hopefully people will want to show it.
Yeah. Yeah, on that point, and I think we did talk about this sometime, the GPS trackers. Now, I know in the races in the UK, I'm just talking about running races, I guess, at the moment, where it gets a lot of attention when people are dot watching. Now, I know there's pros and cons about giving the access to people, because sometimes they fail or sometimes there's not a signal, and then you get a phone call from grandma saying, where's little Tommy? Yeah. But I think that would add, especially on Orno, where you'd have your strong swimmers maybe, coming out, and then the runners started to chase them down. I think that'd be quite exciting to watch from afar, from people at home. Yeah. But it's a balance between what you want to do, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah, the trackers, we use them in all World Series races now.
But you don't give access to the public.
No, it's on our live site. You can follow the race on the live site.
Oh, is it still
all the races?
Okay.
Yeah, it's out there. And we had something like 500,000 views on the live page across all events last season. So, like you say, that gets a lot of attention. They work 99% of the time. Sometimes they lose signal or what have you. So you do have these funny instances. In Engadin one time, we were searching for a guy. He was a solo racer who was up in the mountains, and according to the GPX tracking, he didn't move anymore, which obviously is starting to worry you. So we sent someone there, and there was no one there. And then we thought maybe he'd lost the tracker. So Mao was looking around the area where we found the last signal.
Right.
And then eventually I was at that energy station down in Maloya. And I had him on the phone. I said, can you give me the bib number again? What was the bib number? And he said, whatever, 235. And I'm like, oh, he's right in front of me. Totally happy. It had lost the signal. Right. So that's the downside. But overall, I think they're working quite well. I think things will come out that will be a little smaller.
Okay.
Hopefully, because, it is still a problem they're not waterproof. So we put them into these boxes. The boxes make them bigger. You have them in the bibs. It's not ideal, but overall, I think it helps people follow the race. So
yeah, no, I think they're great bit of kit. I must have noticed that, but I guess because it's a different mapping system. So I'm used to the UK, tracking. There's a company in the UK that are the best in GPS tracking, and I'm used to their maps, I guess. So maybe I just didn't pay that much attention.
Yeah, no. I mean, we have them this year because I think it's the best way also for us to monitor what's happening out in the race course. Okay. So there's a tiny bit of a delay always, but in general, it works quite well.
Yeah, cool. Okay, now I wanted to talk about the Elite program, which was launched.
Yes.
So how's that going? Tell us about that, Dominik.
And the idea came last year, I think sometime maybe after Engadin, because like I said earlier, it gets more and more exciting to watch the racing. And Engadin was a particularly good one where we had 4 or 5 men's teams chasing each other down almost to the finish line. And same on Ute before, I think, what did we say? We had 22 World Championship titles on the start line. And already this is going to be exciting to watch. And Staffan and I were like, look, and we always talk to the elite athletes because we feel that these are the people that everyone looks up to, and they're putting so much time and effort and professionalism into our sport, which, not only is great for us to watch, but it's also great for the people who come in for the first time who see, oh, wow, these people are so good, and they look up to them, and it gives them something to, it motivates. You train harder, you see, well, these people can do this in, they're an hour faster than me. This is what I want to do. And we talked to the elite, and they were like, look, we would love to do more races, but it comes with a cost. I mean, it's you have to travel, you have the entry fees, etc. So if it was easier or cheaper for us, then we would probably race more. So Staffan and I went back and forth, and we discussed, 1,000 different models of what we could do. But we came up with what we have right now, which basically the main incentive was to give people a really good deal, free access. Well, you pay the 500 euros, but you get free access to all the races this year. So that's one thing where we felt that, okay, cool, that brings down the cost a little bit, and it helps us. The more elite athletes we have on the start line in the races makes for exciting racing, makes for interesting stories. So that's one thing that was the biggest driving force. And then we said, look, obviously a series needs to have a prize pot at the end of it for it to be interesting. So we took the existing prize money that we had on an event basis and put it at the end of the elite program. And then the discussion came up, and then you might have people who do all the races and win at the end of the season, but they might not necessarily be the best athletes. And that's actually a feedback that came from the athletes and out of the athletes committee. Can you not do a best of? So the original idea was, okay, we'll do a best of 4 plus the final. And then they said, well, it's too much. We cannot do this if we also do the World Championship. So we brought it down to best of 3 plus the final in Cannes. So you do as many races as you want. We take your 3 best results, you get allocated the points, and at the final in Cannes, it gives you double points. So let's see. And I'm very happy. I mean, we have just over 60 people who signed up.
Cool.
Pretty much exactly half women and half men. We've sent out an email earlier this week where we've requested certain information from them. We're creating a little, an athlete profile on our website to give them a bit more visibility, where you can also, you list your sponsors, you list the races where you're going to race. And we pretty much have, the top people in our sport in the program this year. I mean, if I look through the list on the women, Sabina Rappelli signed up, obviously two-time world champion, and, she won everything last year. Desiree Andersson, Kristin Larsson, four-time world champion, Ulrika Eriksson, Hanna Skarbrat, world champion last year. The French, Le Divauquier, Johan Lezo, who won in Cannes with Thomas Stéphan. Kyla Kobelin from the US.
Oh, okay.
The Swedes, Clara Wilcox-Kjellgren, Pernilla Irevern, Stine Møllebro from Denmark, Melisande Müller, Bronwyn Dirksen. So, really all these names that you regularly see up on the podium are part of it. Now, we don't know whether everyone whether that means that they're racing to compete for the overall win, or whether they're just, using the deal to enter into a few races. But that's totally cool with us.
Yeah.
And on the men's side, I mean, we have Arnaud de Lustrac and his brother.
Right.
Kebab League, Hugo Tormento, Adriel Young, Alexis Charrier, Alex Berggren, Remy Andrade, Tom Ralit, David Pesquet, Florian Schäfer. The French are so strong in the Ben Thiesmeyer and Daniel Rowland. Émeric Genesson, who, I was very impressed with a lot of races last year, French. Gregory Dixon, Marcus Barton, Kavika Tarayo, and Daniel Erbs Ray. But that's, I sort of went through the best of. But, I mean, it's a pretty competitive group, that's important to us because, we don't want to create an elite program. And then people say, well, you don't have the best athletes in the elite program. So what we're doing now is, we're planning sort of a little bit of marketing around them. I mean, obviously they need to be visible in the races, so they have different color swim caps so they know who they're racing against. And then, we have the ranking. That ranking gets published on a regular basis. And, it's all kinds of opportunities that allows us to promote the athletes a little more and give them visibility. Like I said, because these are the people that newcomers in the sport look up to, and they lend a lot of credibility to our sport because, swimrun is small. And I've heard it before in races where but they're not pros, they're all amateurs and what have you. But then, we have such amazing athletes in our races. I mean, the level is incredible. I remember a few years ago, we had a professional triathlete. He came to Engadin and did the Engadin race. And he was like, well, I'm the professional athlete here. Everyone else is an amateur. So, I'm assuming not that I would win, but, he would end up somewhere at the top. And at the first energy station, after an hour into the race, he was like, holy shit, people are fast. And, but that's the amazing thing. I mean, we have people who are just incredibly good runners, very, very good swimmers, and they dedicate so much time to being good at swim run, which, brings along certain extra challenges, as in being fast in the transitions and being good on the rocks. And, that's what we want to promote.
Yeah. Yeah. No, all those names you've read off, top of the sport for sure. And
we want to see them compete. The one thing that'll be interesting, and we really don't know how that's going to play out yet. I mean, we wanted to allow people to change team partners because that's something that is obviously, I think in the past people didn't do so much, but now pretty much they do it all the time, which is also exciting and cool to see. And that obviously will lend a bit of a tactical element throughout the season. Who are you racing with? In which category are you racing? So let's see. We wanted to start with something. Perfectionism is often a hindrance to progress. So we felt that let's go with this, see how it plays out through the season, and adapt.
Yeah.
Similar to what you do in swim run. You go out and you do it, and as you go along, you learn and change and adapt, and it's the way.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're excited about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So just with the teams, so you can swap team whoever, but the points are allocated per individual athletes, and they bring their points to the team. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Could be interesting that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But it means, for example, by the end of the year, you could have someone leading the men's ranking who then could decide, maybe a race in Cannes in the mixed, because the competition is less or more. I mean, who knows? I mean, it depends on who's signed up at that point. So it'll be interesting to see. And then, I mean, we're in the athlete profile, we'll get people to list the races where they're racing. So when we publish it, whatever, mid-February, I guess, we will have published the entire list. No one's got the entire list yet. People will see, okay, these people are racing in these locations, which then allows the athletes to look at, okay, I want to compete with these guys and see how am I doing against them, which is nice. And for us, we can also look at, okay, for that race, looks like the mixed or the women's or the men's category could be really interesting. And that helps us then put the media focus on that category and say, okay, fine, then we should really keep an eye on this category in this race to see who's going to win it.
Yeah, cool. Sounds great. So just to go through the races then, we've got Rügen in Germany, May 16th, Orcas Island, USA, 31st of May, Uto, 6th of June, Engadin, 4th of July, Gothenburg, 25th of July, Casco Bay, USA, 9th of August.
10 years also.
Oh, yeah, 10 years, isn't it? Yeah.
10 years, Casco Bay.
Ireland, 15th of August, 2 years. And the final, which is double points, October the 3rd, quite early, 3rd of October in Cannes. Cool. So the World Champs obviously doesn't look like that has any points.
World Champs is separate.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
What are you doing this year? Have you got a plan?
Well, the only one I've entered so far is the World Champs. So that's the plan there. There's a couple on the radar, but yeah. I've got to work around lots of different factors as everyone has. But yeah,
World Champs, it's going to be. We're planning a bit of a birthday party on the Saturday before. So
okay,
if you haven't made any travel plans, keep that in mind. You might want to be in Stockholm already on Saturday.
We're going to be in Stockholm.
We're going to reveal it all at some point, hopefully, mid-end March when we have our plans finalized. But obviously, 20 years, we've got to celebrate.
Okay.
So,
oh God, it could.
And I think, we want to do it in a way that everybody can join in. It's going to be open to everybody, but obviously the people who do the World Champs will be invited, and it's going to be a fun thing. Really relaxed, OTILLO style.
Cool. Whatever you do, don't make it a free bar.
Well, that's the origin, the whole thing started because of not a free bar, but because of too many drinks.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, that sounds exciting. Good. Well, we are planning on being in Stockholm Saturday, so that's good news.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think that's cleared up the ranking system. And the prize money is pretty substantial as well. €4,500, €4,500 for the winning team, I think.
Well, it's not bad. I mean, of course, ideally, I'd like more, but it's what we've got at the moment. And I think what we're trying to do, but I don't have anything to report on that yet, is that obviously the elite people are an attractive group of people for marketing activities. So I could see, maybe giving them on top of that a few special deals, whether that's for travel or for gear or what have you. So it'll evolve.
Yeah. Brilliant. So a couple of questions from listeners, which we've kind of answered. The one about, we haven't answered this one, really, but I guess it's going to be a tricky one. Any plans for a UK OTILLO race?
Yeah, well, I yes, we want to have a UK race. We must have a UK race soon. I mean, it's on the list, and we have a few locations, but I don't have anything that I can announce yet. But it's a key market for us. So, I mean, we know we have a lot of people coming to our races from the UK. Actually, I think the most popular ones are always Ute and Cannes.
Yeah.
Would you agree? I think that's where the most people from the UK.
Yeah, that's right. I'd say. I know there was a lot of UK guys in Malta. I was only there 1 year, but it's quite good flights from the UK.
That's what I said.
And it's
you need good connection.
Yeah, end of season, and I like the May edition of Ute because it was start of season. But yeah, it's still early, 7th of June.
It was still too. It was just too cold.
Yeah, it was for most. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. Some people don't mind. I mean, you always have in these cold races. I mean, sometimes you think, "Wow, how do people do it?" Some people are just not affected by it, but others are. And in the Ute in May it was
the air temperature that year, though, wasn't it? The air temperature. Oof.
Yeah, or if you can at least warm up on the runs.
Yeah.
But now with that's what we see with the June date. It works really well. I mean, years ago we were thinking whether we want to have that race, and now, I mean, it's the one that is, we have more than 300 people signed up now. It's always the one that fills up the fastest once we open registration, and it's also the one I think everybody who wants to do swimrun who's new to it. It is the place where it all started, and it is such a cool. I mean, I love that island, and it's such a cool race. I mean, we get excited about going out there every year again, and we've been there so many times now. But I'm already looking forward to being out in the woods, and we go out and mark the course, and it's just the trails.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's just so nice, and on these islands north of it and whatever. So it's one of my favorite places for sure in the series.
Yeah, me too. I'm always preaching about Uto. It's a great one. So there's another question, which might link to another question. Thoughts on age groups with increased participation?
Yeah, well, for sure. I mean, that's something that we 2 years ago we added the year of birth to our ranking.
Yes.
Or to our results lists, which obviously doesn't give you much, but at least you can see, okay, I'm, among my peers age-wise, I'm in such and such place, which I think was a first step. I think what we should do, and this is something that is not final, it's just in my head right now, that at the World Championship we should mention the people more in certain age groups. Because, I mean, last year we had a team from the UK, actually. It was so cool. They were 120 years combined.
120? Wow.
Yeah. It was 60 and finished OTILLO, which was, I think, we did a story on them. It's on our website in the blog section.
Okay.
But these stories are cool. So that's something that we can at least mention it. At the races, I mean, the challenge we have is, we do between the three distances when we have a prize giving, we're calling out 72 people on the podiums. So the whole prize giving, if you do that by age groups, you're all of a sudden looking at, 1.5 hour prize givings. That's the challenge at the moment. But as the sport grows, yes, for sure. I mean, it's an obvious one.
I don't think. I mean, I'm not bothered myself, but I think the people who ask aren't that bothered about the prize giving. That's my gut feeling. They just kind of want that recognition of their age. Which is
that's
fine.
an easy one.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what we can certainly start doing that.
Yeah, because the prize giving is a nightmare. I know I've organised some swim runs and some where there's just ridiculous. Like everyone gets a prize on the So yeah. Okay.
You've got to keep people's attention a little bit. Yeah. So that's the main reason. But other than that, I mean, totally for it. I mean, we've got to give credit to the people who do these races.
Yeah, was it Chrissy and Bill Langford that I know they didn't do it last year, but the year before they must be combined at age 120. Maybe it was someone else. Anyway,
No, I forgot the names now, but let's see if I can find it quickly.
I'm trying to remember who did it last year. While you're having a look, World Triathlon. What's going on with that?
Well, not much yet. I mean, you've seen the news, and I mean, we've been having casual conversations with the Triathlon Federation for a few years now, because they've been keeping an eye on what we're doing, and obviously a lot of our races come from triathlon federations. In France, there's been, I think the Triathlon Federation got involved the most, and whether that has led to the rise of the French athletes in the World Championships or not, you can debate, but I think overall it's been a good thing there. And the French were the ones who also triggered the request that then led to the World Triathlon Federation to adopt swimrun as one of their disciplines. And I think, we've been fairly happy with our federation for a long time because we kind of liked our independence. Kristen and I mean, we've worked with, in sports for the last 25 years, and Kristen 35 years, and we've worked with so many federations, and we know where they can add value and where they have challenges. So we keep having these conversations. At the moment, it doesn't mean anything yet, but now that it's part of it, we're kind of forced to continue these conversations. So the options to be completely independent is no longer on the table. And now I think I think the task is to find out where a corporation can add value and at the same time protect the values and the integrity of swimrun, because it is different from triathlon, and it's important for us that we keep it and keep these values and not change anything just because it's part of a federation now. Mm-hmm. So that's, I think, the key objective, and find out what can be done. I mean, there can be things that are, usually a federation, the first things they come with is like, we need to have more rules. Yes, we have rules. They could be more specific. Fine. If you want to add something, cool. They typically need to have doping tests. Yeah, okay. As the sport evolves,
you do though, don't you?
We used to. We haven't done any in the last 2 years because it's really a big cost.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember, but for the World Champs alone, we paid something like 10,000 euros for doping tests.
Oh, jeez.
And it's an expensive thing. So that's something that, if it's necessary, it might be necessary going forward. I mean, as the sport evolves. So obviously that's something they look at. But then my question is always, what can be done that helps us, that just doesn't just put costs on our side, and have referees on the course and what have you. But maybe there can be things where, they bring in more of the younger generation into the sport. In some countries, swimrun is still really, really small. And, a good cooperation with a triathlon federation can bring benefits. Yeah. So, we're having these talks, and let's see what it'll do. But like I said, I think we all know, I mean, we've gotten a lot of feedback from the community where people are like, okay, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. Is everything going to change? And, we know what we need to protect, but at the same time, we also keep an open eye on where we can do something to grow the sport. Yeah. So.
Okay, cool. I found it. It's Chris and Stu, 120 years. Chris was born and raised in Zimbabwe, and now he's a Canadian citizen.
Yes, exactly. Sorry, now I remember.
Stu was from Massachusetts.
Really cool, actually.
Then definitely not from the UK.
No, sorry, got that wrong.
Because I would have
really cool guys.
Okay,
And these are I mean, so many of these stories. I mean, every time we're out on the race course, we have people who come tell us their kind of stories, and that's what I find is the biggest fun about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Always nice.
Yeah.
And always inspiring.
Yes, absolutely. So one last question from Chris. Those questions were from Will. This one from Chris. bit different, this one. In Caen, the kids race, there was a kids race last year? Was there?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, he wants one. So I know in Ireland, I know in Ireland
we had one in Ireland.
Yeah, it's on in Ireland. But Chris wants a kids race in Caen because he'd like to do obviously the World Series and then either before or after. He preferred it after apparently. So yeah, if you want to put a kids race on in Caen, Chris will sign up with his daughter.
I mean, we want to do kids races. It's just not always that easy.
Yeah.
We did it in Holland last year because Holland, it's fantastic. It's a hotel resort with a beach. The water is really shallow. The parents can easily watch. It's easy to keep safety.
Yeah.
And the kids had a lot of fun. We do see a lot of kids now in the experience race, racing with a parent. And that's something that actually I'm trying to get one of my kids to do at some point.
Yeah.
But we see a lot more of that, and particularly in Cannes. The question is always, can you create a little fun course? And I believe the year we did it, we had the finish line somewhere else. I don't quite remember what we did. So they could just swim around up here. I mean, you don't need to do much for a kids race. They just want to, get in the water. It doesn't even have to be swimming. It could just literally be running in the water. Yeah. So, we have that on the list. It doesn't really work in all locations because think Ute, I mean, you want to drop them in the harbor with all these boats in there, and it needs to be safe. But Cannes is one that could be done.
Okay, cool.
It's on the list officially. Now.
Okay, good stuff. Good to hear. Okay, I think we've covered everything now. So, last thing, in terms of the sign-ups for the World Champs, did you say where are you at? Are you at capacity now, or is there still some?
Well, so the anniversary wildcards have until the end of February to sign up.
Okay,
and so. I think so far everyone who got invited, either ranking or anniversary wildcard, has already signed up. So we see it filling up, and at the same time we're looking into adding capacity, particularly on Ute right now, where we try and find ways to keep more people on the island. And depending on how those talks go, and I mean, I think we'll be looking at a solution. I just don't know whether it's financeable at this point in the next few weeks. But we promised all those people who are on the waiting list that in February we will let them know, because people want to know early whether they can come in. So the last thing I want is send people away. But it's really, at the same time, you need to keep still a high quality event for everybody, and there's just certain limitations that we have, but we're trying our best to let everybody who really wants to race and should be allowed to race because of their track record to come, because it's just going to be a big party this year. You will have I mean, I'm looking forward to it already.
Yeah, definitely. One on accommodation. One in 2015, me and my race partner actually stayed at the school on Uso, because I got to know one of the teachers in 2014, and I just messaged. I said, "Well, we can't find anywhere to stay." I didn't know, that much about Uto at the time, and she said we could stay in the school. It was closed, so that was great. That was different.
I mean, we do see quite a bit of that.
Yeah, right.
It's fun.
Yeah, cool. But now it's in Uto. If you're going to race Uto, you can actually stay in Stockholm the night before, or nearby. The ferry, and get the ferry in the morning, can't you? So it's more doable that way. Yeah,
that's easy enough.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that.
Yeah, cool.
So,
well, Dominik, thank you very much for your time. And you ski mountains ski? You're in Switzerland, right?
Yeah. So, well, I just before we started this call, I just took out my cross country gear. It's something, I don't know. I mean, here it's something that I really, really enjoy doing. And we're lucky enough that it's just up the hill from here. So I've got 15-minute drive, and it snowed the last 2 days. Oh, nice. So you're in winter wonderland up there, and I really, really enjoy cross-country skiing. it's fantastic. You know, not only fantastic exercise, but you're out in nature. It's a little bit what we do in swim run. You're just in the middle of nowhere, and I love it. So I'm hoping to get out later today. And actually, the way it looks is foggy down here, but it could be sunny up there. So after this, the next thing I look at the webcam. So maybe I'll be on cross-country skis after lunch today.
Cool. Good stuff. All right. Well, enjoy and see you. Well, definitely see you in September and hopefully before, Dominik.
Thank you for having me and have a good day.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Ciao.
What a great chat with Dominik there. Really good to hear the voices from behind the races, if you like. I always enjoy speaking to race. I call it race directors, but he's obviously got a bit more going on than that, as most race directors of swimrun have got commercial directing, media, all sorts going on. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that one. I should say that we heard some of the names from the elite program there, some great names, an exclusive actually reveal of some of the people who've signed up, some fast folks, and you'll recognize a lot of them. No Brits, I don't think, but we do. That doesn't mean we're just not good enough. We've got the athletes for sure. The stars haven't aligned perhaps on those athletes doing the world champs is basically it. I know a few fast folks have done it from the UK. Many have been on the podcast, but the fastest British team, and I was wrong a few weeks ago, the fastest British team to do the world champs was in 2018, a fast year, good conditions. It was Harry Wiltshire and Mark Threlfall. You may know those guys. Harry was a former pro triathlete, and Mark Threlfall from Global Triathlon Network. Most people involved in triathlon have heard of that organization. 8 hours, 25 minutes they did in 2018. So solid. And that was the first time. I'm not sure. They might have done the odd swim run before, but they were pretty new to it. First time, 8 hours, 25. That's unbelievable. Many of you know the best mixed team, British time, Claire and Piers Valance last year in 9 hours, 2 minutes. And the top female team, I believe, and we haven't had loads of British female teams entering the world champs, but I believe it was in 2018 as well. If you know these guys, Rosemary Bride and Isabel Joyner, they did 10 hours, 58 minutes, sport extreme swim run. So well done to those guys. I mean, we've got people obviously that can go faster. It's just a case of getting them there and them having the ability, of course. But yeah, we'll get some Brits there one day, I believe soon. And if you want Mark Threlfall and or Harry Wiltshire to come on the podcast, send them some messages. Put a bit of pressure on. I was in touch with them, and Mark hadn't realised he was the fastest British team, so I think he was quite excited about that. Who knows? He might come back to OTILLO. I should shout out to Alan Scott, who has the fastest British time, but not in a British team. He raced with Nut Badzug from Norway. Awful pronunciation, no doubt. But Alan Scott, many of you will know him. Him and Nut did a time of 8 hours dead in 2018 as well. Good conditions that year, of course. But 8 hours dead on the World Champs course. So very impressive. That's it. So, yeah, guys, enjoy. It's the light is coming back to the world. January is pretty much over, and hopefully catch you soon.